Welcome to Unboxed God, where we detox from religion and discover the God who refuses to fit inside the boxes we were given. I'm Tolu Sarah Johnson, and here we explore who God really is beyond fear, beyond formulas, and beyond everything we were taught to perform. If you are hungry for a real relationship with Him, you are in the right place. Let's dive in. So, moving on to the next chapter, which is chapter 3 of the same book, Father, Make Me Yours Alone, becoming God's robot, not by force, but by love, by choice. So, the title of chapter 3 is The Lie of Independence, Freedom That Isn't Free. Yes, doing life alone feels powerful until it breaks the soul. You might be able to resonate with that, but I can really resonate with that. There are prisons made of iron, and there are prisons made of pride. Independence is the second kind. It looks strong, it feels impressive, it sounds mature, it even appears spiritual, but Papa calls it what truly is. The most beautiful lie that slowly destroys my children. Independence is the lie that tells you you can run your life better than God can. It whispers you don't need help. It promises you can handle this. And for a while, it works. It feels powerful. You feel capable. You feel in control until the weight collapses the soul. When you look at the illusion of self-sufficiency, the world baptizes independence as strength, but heaven sees it as a wound. Papa sees it as a wound. People cling to independence because they fear surrender. They fear what God might ask. They fear losing control. They fear disappointment. They fear intimacy. Most don't reject God out of rebellion. They reject Him out of fear of what surrender will cost them. So instead of depending on the Father, they depend on their logic, on their money, on their routine, on their knowledge, on their discipline, on their personality, on their emotional walls, on their success. Let me give you a typical example of that. Matthew, Robert Payne, my co-author, when he was at the age of, I think, 14, he read a book about a man of God, and that man was used powerfully. I can't remember the name of who the person was now. And he said he read the book, and he told God, I want to be used powerfully like this person. I want you, God, to use me. I give myself unto you. And Matthew said, maybe a few days after or the next day, his life started collapsing. He experienced the first sexual molestation that happened to him. And that was the beginning of what was to come in his life, the beginning of suffering. So if you've heard that testimony, that when people surrender, their life seems to go pear-shaped, will you want to? Of course you don't want to. Because you want to be able to depend on what sounds logic, on what you can see. And your strength becomes the greatest weakness of all. Papa said, my children think they are self-sufficient, but they are simply self-protecting. Yes, Matthew's life got pear-shaped. He has experienced a lot of challenges in his life, but he's gained the most important thing that you could ever gain in your whole life, God. Is extremely intimate with God, with Jesus, is highly respected in heaven, His reward that is waiting for him in heaven is beyond what Matthew could actually contain or imagine himself. So, people choose religious routine not because it brings them closer to God, but because it keeps them far enough that God cannot touch the places they fear opening. They pray just enough to feel spiritual, but not enough to be changed. They attend just enough church to feel safe, but not enough to surrender. They know God exists, but they avoid knowing Him. And this is what independence does. It creates a life that mentions God without ever needing Him. And this is very sad. Yes, because the idol of independent heart is dangerous, because when Papa is not given his rightful place, something else always take it. Independence is never empty. It always replaces God with a substitute. Achievement becomes your God. Money becomes your God. Reputation becomes your God. Family becomes your God. Image becomes your God. Pleasure becomes your God. Business becomes your God. Control becomes your God. Anything that fills the void becomes an idol. People don't call them idols, but heaven does. We chase promotions, suit ourselves with pleasure, bury ourselves in work, accumulate possession, scroll endlessly, or cling to relationships that numb our fears. But nothing fills the God-shaped space in the human spirit. You can feed your image, decorate your lifestyle, upgrade your wardrobe, accumulate accolades, but the soul remains starving. Independence creates a hunger that nothing on earth can satisfy. Yes, I had that hunger, but that hunger is being satisfied now. Now that I'm working with Papa, that hunger is being satisfied. And because the earth was designed to depend on God, every substitute, no matter how shiny, soon turns to dust in the mouth. And the tragedy of independence is this: the part that feels easiest at first is the one that breaks you the most. Self-will feels like freedom, but it becomes the most exhausting way to live. You carry your own fears. You solve your own crisis. You predict your own future. You manage your own identity. You protect your own heart. No wonder the soul eventually collapses. Papa said, doing life without me is not freedom. It is slow suffocation. I could not do life without him anymore. Oh, I needed him. I needed him. You know that song that says, oh, I need you every hour. I need you. So help me, Lord, my Savior. I come to thee. We all need him. And we all need to run to him and say, help me, Lord, my Savior. Because when you were coming to the heart, you agreed to God to live a specific destiny. You come to heart and you forget who you are. You lose your identity altogether. And the only way you can connect back to him is by giving that free will back to him willingly so that he can direct your journey. And people who cling to independence don't fall suddenly. They unravel silently. They wake up tired. They feel empty. They lose direction. They drown in worry. They feel unloved. They feel unseen. They feel alone. They feel rejected. Not because God is far, but because independence has closed the door from the inside. And it is so difficult. We cannot continue to hold on to ourselves and thinking that we don't need God. Because we definitely need it. Papa gave me an analogy. He said, imagine buying a luxury, complex, powerful car, but throwing away the owner's manual the moment you got home or the moment you get home. You drive it however you want, push it past its limit, neglect the maintenance, ignore the warnings, race it through rough terrain, use cheap fuel, and brag, I know what I'm doing. Then one day, the engine seizes, the car breaks, and with the anger and confusion, you shout, God, why did you let this happen? That's what we all do. And then we push the blame always to him, always. But the manufacturer whispers, my child, this was never how it was designed to be driven. Independence is that reckless driving. When we live outside divine design, the warranty voids, the engine breaks, the journey becomes painful, the soul collapses under strain. Not because God is punishing you, but because you step outside the sweet spot where the soul was made to function. Yes, and Papa says you cannot feed your spirit with what was designed to feed your ego. Independence promises control, but delivers loneliness. It promises strength, but produces exhaustion. It promises clarity, but breeds confusion. It promises identity, but leaves you lost. Independence is the lie that looks like freedom, but feels like collapse. Yes. So the turning point, when the soul finally whispers, Papa, I need you. Every human eventually reaches a moment, a breaking point, when the illusion shatters. A point where my way has cost too much. A point where independence has drained me too deeply. A point where pride cannot hold the heart together anymore. In that moment, one whisper becomes salvation. Papa, I need you. And instantly, he answers with tears in his voice. I've been waiting for this moment because the Father's dream has never changed. Not robotic obedience, not forced loyalty, not fear-based devotion, but children who say, I choose you, not because I must, but because I finally understand I cannot live without you. Have you finally understand that you cannot live without you? I cannot live without you. I cannot live without you. I cannot live without you. Oh God, I cannot live without you. I cannot live without you. I cannot live without you. Oh God. Well, that is my confession. What is your own confession? Because the moment you say, I need it, it's going to grab the opportunity. Because the Father's dream has never changed. No. He still wants you. He still loves you. And he wants you to say, I choose you. Not because I must, but because I finally understand I cannot live without you. And that is the doorway into becoming God's willing robot. Not controlled, not coerced, but surrendered in love. And I hope you are able to see the heart of God as He's panting for you, as He's yearning for you to have a relationship with you, to love you deeply, to shower His love upon you in a way that you cannot resist. Don't waste that love that love is fully well available for you. Cling onto it. Love him. Pour your love on him. Let him pour your love on you as well. And let it become a mutual exchange where both parties flourish in his presence. And I hope you've been blessed.